So hi, welcome to Noise Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
And we're here with
Yo, from Bokassa.
And we're going to have some questions to say about their new album, All Out of Dreams. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
I'm pretty excited about the response, actually. Usually we just get a lot of people that are moaning about our first album, and this time around they seem to have kind of embraced what we're doing. So I actually got some messages from some fans who said they think this album might replace our debut album for them, which I like to hear because people have been moaning about that album ever since we released it. So it's nice that they like the new stuff as well.
Yeah, this fucking album rocks so hard.
Oh yes, incredible.
Thank you.
Of course.
So is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah. Actually, I was it's not a concept album in any way, but I was just looking at the lyrics when I tried to find some sort of title, and the first album title was Everyone Fails in the End, which ended up just being a song title because I thought it was kind of a nod to Converge and Weezer, but then I thought maybe it was cool with a more cryptic title. And it's kind of, when you look at a lot of the songs, you see a lot of people kind of have failed or maybe lost hope. There's a kind of bleak hopelessness all through the record. So I thought All Out of Dreams was kind of a good fitting title for lyrical contents. And also the artwork is kind of, there's something about as the songwriter with the lyrics, you kind of, there's something with the person on that cover just going into someone's head that I thought was pretty cool, and also kind of looked like a prog record, but it is what it is.
Yeah,
so,
all right.
Definitely has that vibe.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for the album?
Well, this time around, our first our debut albums and our first EPs, we kind of we never had a producer on Divide and Conquer. We kind of did it as a band, and then we had the one in for Crimson, and the plan was on Molotov Rocktail, our third album, to have a guy called Machine who done Clutch in the Bronx, but because of the pandemic we couldn't get him, so I decided to just produce it myself. And there was, when I was happy with the result, I still am, but I kind of felt that our third album, Molotov, was kind of this fun big rock record where everything was allowed. It was kind of more is more. We had cheerleader choirs, we had horns, we had everything. And I thought, okay, we made that record. Now I want to try to make another record. So I would consciously try to write, or maybe not write. Yeah. I kind of a little bit faster, a little bit shorter, and not all of that kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff. So that was kind of a more focused songwriting process to get a bit faster, a bit harder. Because I hate when every album sounds the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And going into it with that mindset of the record kind of has to sound like this. Did you feel like you were in any sort of box because you were putting? It's not a huge, you're not I'm writing a concept record, but you are putting yourself in a box in some sort of way by saying that to yourself.
Well, I don't know. If I could, I know a lot of bands that just basically just write the same song. They had a good song and they just do 12 watered down version of the same song. And I bet if I could, I probably would. We got a song called Last Night Was a Real Massacre that people love. It's just a fast ripper. And if I was able to just write that kind of okay, now I'm going to write 10 of those, I probably would, make people happy, etc. But I can't. That's why our albums are so diverse. You have a closer song that's kind of a doomy one, and you have a hardcore punk song in 40 seconds, and then you have some kind of groovy shit. So I kind of just write what I write, and I never, if I'm forcing myself to write something, it never happens. It's just if I just pick up a guitar and suddenly, oh, there's a verse or a riff or something like that,
Yeah. So everything's organic for you.
Yeah. I guess I don't have I saw this interview with I think it was Alkaline Trio, and there was something about, I think Dan Andriano, something like that. He just writes every day. He just like has like a, I don't know, schedule, but I don't have that at all. Like, because I hardly practice, because every time it feels like a chore, I just don't do it. You know?
Yeah, fair enough.
Exactly. You don't want to force it.
Yeah.
Going into this record, you had a producer you wanted to work with, then lockdown happened, so you had to produce it yourself. Did you prefer doing it yourself, or was it kind of I'm driving myself insane, nitpicking everything?
Oh yeah, I do that a lot. Like I'm an extreme like nitpicker, and for a third album, I was like, I was very like do, and the mixing process. This has to be blah 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 blah. And I felt like I learned a lot for this record, All Our Dreams. That's why I wanted to produce this as well, because I had like a clear vision. I wanted the snare to sound like metallic kind of 90s. I wanted to, it's been a colder sound. I wanted to strip down. We don't have that much of a like kind of woes and a kind of, what's it called, rhythmic kind of, we always have like something like, what's it called, percussion. Yeah, percussion elements. There's not that many on this record. It's more was stripped down, and that's kind of stuff I kind of felt that I learned from the first one. But the next record, I think it's about time to get someone in from the outside again, because you can like you can get a bit lost in your head, you know, because there's no one questioning you. You just question yourself all the time.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Absolutely. Understood. So what song off this album took longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Which one was the longest to write?
And then your personal favorite.
Oh, that's a hard one. The longest to write. I think that actually is The Ending Starts Today. Not that it was like hard to write, but that riff's been around probably since like 2017, 2016.
Shit. Oh my
Yeah, but I had it in a different version. I had it in like a really slow kind of stony version. I played it in like lower on the neck. I just had that riff. I used it as a breakdown here and there, but it just didn't fit. And suddenly I just sped it up and used it as kind of like a intro riff. And I was like, oh, it all comes together. So that song has elements that are, that are probably like, I don't know, 8 years, maybe something like that, 7-8 years. My personal favorite, I think, is Garden of Heathen, just because it was cool that Olav our drummer came with a riff, like the lead riff of that song is his riff, and I just wrote a song from that, and I think it's got like this cool chorus and a cool breakdown. It's like just one of those 3 minutes stoner punk songs that I just love to play. So I think that's my favorite on the record.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So how'd the Trackless 3 album come about? Did you write the opener to be the opener, closer be a closer? Did you shuffle around and see what fits? What was that process like?
Oh, that's always like this, what's it called? Scheduling? The placing? Placing of the records.
The track placement.
Yeah, the track placement. Yeah, it always takes, I have like, I make so many like different mixes, and I sent to the others, and I was like, and Olaf sent some, and we just tried to listen just to get it to flow. Like the closer was always going to be Crush, because that's that kind of doomy kind of slow song and stuff like that. But I didn't really have like a set opener. It was either going to be like the one that it ended up in, The Ending Starts Today, or Garden of Heathen, because they're like just straight in your face. But the thing, because I think like really old school, I think a side E, an A and a side B, you know, I think that, okay, for the vinyl, what's going to start with, you know, and then you need some kind of like after a couple songs, maybe take it down a bit, maybe have a harder and then a softer. So I use a lot of time on that. We make like loads of mixes and we just listen to it, and if it flows good, then we're like, yeah, like for example, a third album, I think it should have been another track listing there. Just I don't know why, but it just, when I listen to it now, it's like, because you have intro and then it comes a song with a 1 minute intro. Shouldn't have been.
Intro and then an intro, yeah.
And, to be fair, a buddy of mine told me when we had like they were listening to like the mixes when we had that album like 2020 or something, and he said you shouldn't do that. Then it's like, because that's an intro, and the other songs had like an intro, and I was like, yeah, right. But he was right. You know, I shouldn't have. Yeah, I should have listened. I should have listened to him.
Yeah. In the moment, you were probably like, no, you don't get it.
We're cooking with this one. We're cooking.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I was like, no, it's such a great song, but he was completely right.
It's okay. It's great. So would you be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you were creating this record?
I think for this record, like when I was writing it, I felt like a bit like I always do, kind of that we have to like prove ourselves to the world. Also because the thing with our third album was kind of a leap, whereas you can argue that the two first are similar in vein to each other, but this other one is extremely much more melodic, more poppy, and there's a lot of like new elements. So I think a lot of people got pretty like thrown off by that. Did not like it. They just wanted to make like our first album again. So I got a bit like pissed off about that. And I was kind of in that mindset that we'll show them this time, you know, to make like progress our sound. So it was kind of like either you're right or die, you know, either you're with us or you're not. We don't care. We just want to. So that's kind of the mentality. Is like it's like let's just go kind of thing. Which and when we recorded it, like a couple of songs were done during the pandemic, but we kind of reamped them in the studio. But when we recorded in Denmark, it was like it was the best time we ever had in studio, because he has like 2 months and has like a residency studio where you live out on like a farm in Denmark. And it was during summer, and he had like neighbors that made their own wine and stuff like that. So we had like the most laid back time ever recording that album.
Nice.
Dude, that sounds like a vacation. What?
Yeah, it was so great. Like and like neither of us likes to wake up early except our drummer. He's like he's like up, I don't know, 6, 7 or something. But the other ones, we like to sleep like 10, 11, and so did the engineer. So we just like kind of woke up around then, went in and started tracking. It was awesome. Had to buy him a coffee machine though. He just drank instant. I can't start my day with instant coffee. So
yeah, I don't blame you.
Let that happen.
Yeah.
No.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I personally like Piss Jeans. They just released like a new album called Half Divorced like last Friday. And whenever I get like a new album or something that I'm excited to do, I like to listen to it like on headset alone, because I can get like, of course it's nice to listen with friends and stuff, but I can get a bit like, oh man, I wanted to hear that when people just talk over it, you know. So I like to just listen on my headphones, at least the first couple of times when I get a new record. So that's my personal recommendation.
All right.
Damn right.
Nice.
Hell yeah. So this one should be super, super quick off the top of your head. I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
3 words. Okay.
3 words, yeah.
Riffy.
Okay.
Hooky.
Okay.
Diverse.
Damn.
That's good.
Could have gotten another E in there, man.
Yeah.
Riffy, hooky, diverse.
All right.
Diverse,
It's
yeah.
cool.
All right.
It's chill.
And in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want listeners to have while going through the album?
No, not really. I mean, I've read a lot of reviews of the album. A lot of people talking about the lyrics are very bleak. And I saw one wrote like that we're not offering any hope either. And I don't want the listeners to listen to this record and just feel bad. That's not what I want at all. But I want them like, because for me, if I listen to like say a band like, I don't know, Men Singers, for example, that has kind of like this melancholy, this sadness to their music. I still feel happy listening to them, So I kind of want people to listen to us and kind of feel that that kind of happiness, that kind of thing you get when you listen to a band you like, and you kind of like, oh, this band gets it, that kind of feeling. At least I get like really excited when I hear, like, for example, a new band, and I'm like, oh yeah, like when they're ticking all the boxes of stuff that I like. So I want them to get that feeling. I don't know what that feeling is, but I want them to get excited.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
love that.
excitement.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So, are you able to touch on any particularly challenging or standout moments from the creation of this album, positive or negative?
Like if we're thinking about just like performance wise, there's a song called No More Good Days, which has like a very like fast double pedal pattern, just because it made sense to have it with the guitar, and we were all kind of like stressed out because Olaf doesn't play that much double pedal. We don't use it that much. We have used it once on another album, and so we were pretty like, is this gonna work? But then he fucking nailed it. So that was awesome, and so that was a kind of really positive thing, because I was a bit stressed about that. But when it came to my parts, the guitar I usually use, which is like has a thinner neck and is the one that I can play on. We didn't use it because it didn't sound that good, in the studio. So we ended up using, I have like this Les Paul Studio, but that got like it's harder to play. And so some of the songs I remember, I was like, Jesus Christ, I was like, am I gonna be able to play this? Because the neck was so fat and I wasn't used to it. So I remember, for my own, like, what's it called, for my own experience, I think it was a harder album, just because I had to switch the guitar and kind of relearn that guitar during some of the like more fast parts. So that's what I think of, like, initially at least.
All right, got it. So for this question, I want you to picture you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
That's that's the most fun with like touring outside of Norway, because Norway is just like so strict candy stuff. We don't have the cool stuff.
What?
Yeah, it's like import candy from the US. There's stores that do that. So it's like big business in Norway. But every time we're like outside of Norway, I think, I don't know the name, but they're like pink, kind of fluffy stuff from Haribo. I don't know what they're called, but they're really good. So,
is it like a chewy?
Yeah, they're kind of like, and they're white inside, but then they're red, pinky on the outside, and they're very sweet, and I don't know what's
it
called.
like soft?
Are they
they're soft, yeah.
Chamellos?
No, not marshmallows.
No.
There's something they call something with a T. They have it in France and Germany. We had a fan who actually sent me some because she knew I liked it. So that was nice. They were awesome. And also whenever we're in England, and I actually, when we came home from our last tour there, I had like I think 25 of them in my bag. They have, Maltesers. Mm-hmm. They have like on Christmas they have a reindeer edition that with mint.
Oh.
We don't have it in Norway, so I just buy what I can, And Rice Krispies, oh man,
yeah,
awesome.
Rice Krispies. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Damn right. Good picks.
I didn't realize that Norway was so strict about the imports of like the candy and shit.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, they're very strict about the imports on everything. Like if I buy a record, they tax it, so it ends up costing like $60, something like that. It's
Jesus.
So, yeah. So they're very strict about everything. With the candy, I guess it's mostly because of what's the English word? They put a lot of stuff.
Oh, all the additives.
Yes. They're very like in I think 2011 or something like that. Rice Krispies was banned in Norway because they found like something in it.
Yeah.
So it's very like they're very strict on that stuff. So I buy it outside of Norway.
Yeah, I feel like that's completely fair. I mean, it sucks, but like, there's a lot of junk in our food.
It's because it's probably good that they have those restrictions, I think.
Yeah.
But I still like it.
Exactly. It's a treat then versus you see it every now and then. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like a big thing when like, they got like Hershey's cookies and creams or whatever,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. See. And on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be and why?
Oh, what dish would it be? I think it would be lasagna because we have many layers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Lasagna.
So for the last couple questions, it's going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
That would be my last meal. I think my mother's lasagna. I think that either that or patizio, which is like a Greek lasagna, but they have cinnamon in it. I think it's one of the best things I've ever eaten. And for drink, I would go Pepsi Max Cherry. Yeah.
Oh, hell
right.
yeah!
All right.
That Greek lasagna sounds very interesting. You just gave me something to research after this.
I mean, I mean, it's so good. I got kind of obsessed about it like last year when I just discovered it. So I made it several times, and also we were so lucky that we played in Athens, and I got to taste it how they made it. It's like, I mean, dare I say it? It's kind of better than lasagna.
I mean, yeah, I can see that. I love all of that area of food. I guess it's the best. It's the best.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Hell yeah. And if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Oh, a fictional world. Well, I guess I always loved like post-apocalyptic movies. And now that the new Fallout show is coming, so I guess I lived in a Fallout world then. Yeah.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah.
Now I've thought of asking the last question. Every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
My favorite color? It's red because of Chicago Bulls and Liverpool Football Club.
All right.
Hell yeah.
So as I said, that's all the questions. So I'd say, is there anything that you would like to plug?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Check us if you see this and you haven't heard our band, check out our new record.
Well, thank you, Sal. It's been Jørn from Bokassa, and we have been the Good Noise Podcast.